Now we turn to a very important section, the words. As we have already said, the same 15 collections have been compiled for a word loading. Our course is unique in that all words are divided into 15 collections of 500 words each. And all these 500 words are used in the corresponding collection of models. That is, you will activate these words, put them into circulation along with the development of grammatical structures, and you will do it in relatively small portions. So, we have 500 words in each collection. These are companion collections to the collections of models. These are separate PDF files and they can be printed separately. We have 24 thematic sections, topics. Now let's talk about the principles of keeping a large number of words in long-term memory. As they say, there is no problem learning words. The problem is to keep them in memory. How you can achieve retention of words in your memory. To do this, you need to follow a number of principles. As we had said before, we need a high degree of concentration when loading words. We need to ensure single-channel processing of information. That is, we should deal with only one task in one unit of time. We have to check ourselves, that is, perform verification to confirm the correctness of our reproduction in comparison with the sample. And we must maintain the presence of the loaded information in our short-term memory for a period of at least 1 week. This is such a small theoretical part which may not be clear at first glance, so let's see how it is implemented in practice. The collection of words consists of the title of the collection, but under the title of the collection we have a list of thematic sections, as in this case, for example, in the 9th collection of topics: state and society, job and employment, sports, entertainment, education, tourism, and travel, and so on. Next we have the actual words with numbering, and there is page numbering and the title of the collection in the footer. So, we have all the words divided into 25 thematic sections. It's all that you can imagine and that may be necessary for full command of the language. They range from numerals, pronouns, the simplest verbs, time, calendar, shopping, job, business, city, housing, sports, entertainment, and so on. Thus, the collection of words 1 corresponds to the collection of models 1, and there are also more thematical areas in this collection of words than in other collections, ranging from units of time, calendar, numerals. This is also done deliberately, and the first collection is introductory and serves to demonstrate the principle of the system. In other collections, there are fewer thematic areas in order to consistently work out everything. For example, if we look at the 9th and the 8th collection of words and compare it with the first collection, we will see that there are fewer thematic areas. That is, there are accessories, relations between people, general terms, education, communication, housing, state and society, job and employment, sports. The same principle of cyclical coverage also applies to words. For example, if we take topics such as relationship between people, this refers to family ties, husband, sister, son-in-law, granddaughter, nephew, niece, and so on. It is worked out more in collections 1 and 2. Collections 3 and 7 perform already slightly less than the previous ones. In collection 8 and 12, even less. In collections 13 and 15, even less. More rare words are already introduced. It should be emphasized that we are not talking about the repetition of the same words in different collections, but new words appearing within the same thematical areas. Once again, words and models are synchronized. That is, 500 words and the corresponding collection of words are used in the corresponding collection of models. For example, the collection of words number 10 and the collection of models number 10. And the models are built like this. The theme of transport and traffic is focused on the grammatical structures of past indefinite passive, the state, society, education on the grammatical structures, so such general terms on the construction there is, there are, and so on. It may sound unrealistic, but the most important thing is to understand that repetition and recalling are different mental processes, as we have already discussed. To remember and to reproduce an unfamiliar word is more difficult, of course, than just to repeat it after the speaker or on the list. But this process is much more efficient because it makes it possible to quickly convert electrical connections into biochemical ones. So, the collection of words is as follows. We have the same file in PDF format, and there is a list of words arranged as follows. We do the download first. We also take 5 words, and they will be one batch. Several batches will make up one section of the collection. First, we introduce the concept of symbols. Just take a pen and pencil and you are going to make marks on your printouts while working on the words. The circle sign is a review symbol within a batch. The plus sign is a symbol of a singular production of one batch. And the slash sign is a one-time reproduction symbol of the entire section. The schedule is the same, and when downloading, we will use one circle and 2 plus signs. So, first select unknown words, that is, those words that we will memorize and download into our long-term memory. We have to check all the words on the list to see if we know the word or not. And we must know the word firmly. That is, we must be able to reproduce a word in Russian instantly, like cat and dog. If we can remember a word, but not immediately, as it's rummaging in memory, it's better to include such a word into the list for download to bring it to automatic recall. Take a sheet of paper. Cover all the words except the first word. English meaning it is from the English language that we must be able to instantly reproduce the Russian word. If there is no instant reproduction, then make any mark, for example, put a tick or a point next to this word, which we will memorize. We will continue to work on these marks. For example, must, ship's doctor, and so on. Here, for example, we know the word cook out of all other words, so we do not mark it and mark all the other words that we want to learn with a tick. And now, divide these marked words into batches. That is, 5 words with marks is one batch. There are only 6 words, but we did not mark the word cook because we are sure that we know it. We do not take into consideration this familiar word. We only choose 5 unfamiliar words. Draws a line, also person. So we are ready to work with the words, and we have selected batches for our further passes. Also put a square sign to indicate the end of the section. And we go further on the same principle. Note the section number. In this case, for example, it is 01.1. That is the collection 01 and the pass number 1. And the date, in this case August 19, and the day of the week. This will apply to the whole section. We work batch by batch. Take a sheet of paper, preferably made of cardboard like like a postcard or a bookmark or anything like this. Close all but the first line and first make a review. For example, this word must. See the translation. We are just doing a review of all the remaining words of the first batch. Just look at how words are spoken and written. Review and put a circle. Now we begin the most important process, downloading this information. First, look at the English meaning of the word trying to recall the Russian word. We see that it is a word must. Put down the sheet of paper and check by looking at the Russian meaning of the word. And so we go through the whole batch of 5 words at once. Put a plus sign. Then we perform one more pass of reproducing words within the same batch. And after this, we should get a circle and 2 plus signs in each batch. At this point, we have made a download of each batch. Then we move on to reproducing the whole section, as we did with the models. That is, just close with a sheet of paper all but the first line and reproduce words from English to Russian. Move the sheet down, opening the word along and checking yourself, as well as reading the Russian translation again out loud. By the way, performing the reproduction of the word from English to Russian, that is recalling, it takes much more effort than when you just read the word in Russian. This is as it should be. Put the slash symbol for the second pass and today's date. Once again, we should remember that pass number 2, that is the reproduction of the entire section, is done immediately after the initial downloading of all the batches. Then we do one more reproduction in the evening. This will be the third pass. Also, we use the slash symbol for the third pass. Then we perform reproducing once a day for a week as per our schedule. And then we reproduce with increasing multiple intervals: a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 6 months. And again, you should remember to use strictly 5 items when downloading new information. And be sure to reproduce new information for 7 days. The passes will be easier for you with each day. Just like with the models, it will be a bit difficult until about the 3rd or 4th day. Then, after the 5th day, you will have a breakthrough, and you will feel that you will be able to reproduce these words by reflex. So, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for your time. This is the site by our course Linguistic Russian. Here are our contacts. Write your questions, your comments. We are always happy to answer any of your questions. We wish you success in attaining the skill of fluent speech in Russian.